Hey guys, so for video number 6, I'm going to show you how to apply Waterslide decals. This can be used for any model. This particular model I'm going to show you is the Norscot Cat 365BL. This model is in 1/50th scale. Now I didn't show you any of me assembling it for the main reason of it's pretty much the disassembly reversed, so I didn't really think it was necessary. And also, I would rather do it on a different model, since again, I already showed you the disassembly of this one. Maybe on another model I won't show you the disassembly, but I'll show you the assembly and so forth. Now, these decals I had printed from a friend who used to print decals. I emailed him, he still does them. So, I was lucky with that. Now, Waterslide decals are, one, going to be the thinnest, and two, they're going to be very high quality. You cannot print white unless you do have an Alps printer. I used to own one, unfortunately broke, such forth, so therefore I went to someone else to get them printed. They're very easy to apply. They're very simple to apply as long as you do them the right way. Now, everyone has their own technique and such forth. I'm going to show you mine. Now, the way that you apply them is, obviously, you would cut them out. You don't have to cut them perfect, because keep in mind, the actual decal itself is clear, and whatever is printed from the ink. So you don't have to cut exactly out. You can leave some clear around, which I will do, and I'll show you. So the way that you're going to apply them is get a cup of hot to warm water. Obviously, cut them out, make sure they fit. Dip them in the water and literally slide them off, which I will show you how to do. Now, you could use a paper towel, you could use a cotton swab, you can really use anything to soak up the water. I pat them with a paper towel. Again, everyone has their own technique. You make sure you don't want to scratch them or anything. With the water on there, they really won't scratch, but I'll show you how I do it. So we'll first start off with the decal for the boom. Now we will cut them out, and I'm going to just cut the two decals away from each other. So as I'm holding that decal, I'm not scratching this one. So let's push that to the side. And we're going to start with, like I said, the boom decal. Now, again, you don't have to cut it perfectly, but you do want to leave some room for you to hold it as you work with it. So this is about how much you want to have cut off, and it's going to be placed right there. So here is my cup of water. Now, I like to use a glass cup just for the fact that I think it holds heat the best, and when doing this you obviously do want to take your time. And a simple little trick that I've learned is, as you're putting the water in the cup, just let it sit in the cup so the glass heats up and it holds the heat. Now what you want to do is dip it in, and it will curl, so leave it in there for a little bit, and you'll see the paper soak up the water, and it will curl. So get both sides, and as you can see now it is wet. Now what you want to do is, where you want to place your decal, put it there, hold it, and it will just slide right off the paper like shown. And then you want to get it about where it goes without any creasing or anything, and you want to make sure it's straight, and that's about right. Now take your sponge, your cotton swab, paper towel or whatever, and just dab it on there, let it soak up the water. Again, make sure it's straight. If it's not straight, what you could do is take your finger, dip it in the water, put the water on it, and slide it around. Now that is about perfect. And there's the first decal on it. Now, it's very simple to do, as you can see. The biggest thing you don't want to do is scratch the decal, because then, one, if you don't print your own, you'll have to wait on decals to come. And that would be very unfortunate, especially when applying it if you don't put it on correct or anything. Like I said, I had these made by someone else. So you want to be the most careful you can with them. They do scratch very easily. And once they're on, they are very durable, I have to say. You don't have to worry about them ever really ripping off or anything unless you really manhandle the model, so to say. And now, like I said, cut them, make sure they fit. See how they're gonna fit. And such forth. Now this decal where the bottom of the black has to sit on the bottom there, I am going to cut it as close as possible. And like I said, if you mess it up, it's going to not only cost you more money, but it's going to cost you time also. Give me 1 second. Alright, so I got the counterweight decal on and the decal on the side of the cab. So now we'll work on the right side decal. And this is going to be a very easy one to put on, so I'll show you guys how to apply it. So again, dip it in the water. Let it sit for a little bit, let it curl. And let's do the other side of it. Put it on the model and slide it right off. Now the placement of it is usually the hardest part, especially when you have to overlap another decal. Like this one has the counterweight decal that the red stripe has to match up with. Luckily, I got that perfect. Now the hardest part about it is when you're patting it dry, not to move the decal or disturb it, especially if you have it exactly where you need it. So as you're drying it, you could move it around. And the easiest way that I found to do it is to get most of it dry and then move it from there, like I'm doing right now. And it will take a couple of tries to get it right where you want it, but once it's there, it will pay off. As you can see, they're very hard to work with, but you do have some time to work with them. It was very hard to get right. And as you can see, even though I had some trouble with that one, it did come perfectly, luckily. But again, that was after some trouble, as you could see. Now, don't worry, even if you do have a little trouble with them. It's hard to get them perfect on the first try, especially if you're new at it. But again, practice makes perfect, as with anything. And now let's do the boom decal. Now you want to line it up with the other side. And make sure it matches it like it would on the real machine. And that looks about perfect. So dry that one on there. And that really completes the decaling for it. It's very simple to do, again, but also very hard because it's very easy to mess up on them. As you can see, it took me a bunch of tries in the video. So again, don't ever get frustrated or anything like that. It's very easy to get frustrated when doing this, but as you can see, the outcome is worth all the hard work. So there it is. They're very easy to apply, so keep that in mind. They're not as hard as they look. But there's decaling the 365. Now the thing is, if you have details like a vent or something over here, the decal is going to get sucked into the vent, and it will cause a little, kind of like a little, it won't exactly be straight, but again, that's because it's sucked into the vent, and you can't really do anything about it. So I'm gonna try and fix that the best that I could. Now you could put a decal setting solution on there. I used to do that. I don't really see the need for it anymore. Again, that's just me. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this little I guess you could say a how-to, if you want to call it that. But there was decaling the 365.